everybody. Welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. Oh boy, I feel a fool. This is like the third or fourth week that I've been live streaming somewhat consistently, and I want to I was gonna skip this, but I feel like I made enough blunders that I feel like it's worth sharing. However, we're gonna share those blunders over our first drink. So here's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna do a giveaway tonight, and this is now the second time I'm telling all this, but that's okay. So I'm gonna do a giveaway tonight, and I'm so sorry. I'm like 10 minutes late. Okay, here's what's going on. You guys know I do the whiskey toppers. So I have glass ones, I have acacia, and I have bamboo. So what we're going to do tonight is, well, actually, let me just show you how these work. So you take your Glencairn. These guys, they go into the top, and there's like a little rubber seal. So it's mostly just like a fun thing. It does technically keep your whiskey from evaporating to a decent degree, but for the most part, it's just kind of cool. And they've got the little emblem and everything on there. So there's bamboo, acacia, and glass. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a giveaway tonight. And it's not going to be the usual super chat and get stuff, because although super chats are wonderful, definitely super chat. But if I'd rather do it like where everybody can compete. So here's what we're going to do. As you know, with the Wheel of Doom, I pick stuff at random. And there's about 50, maybe 40 whiskeys on the turntable over here, which you'll see in just a sec. So I'm going to show you another screen when we're picking, and it's going to have all of the different options there. I want you to guess which one you think is going to come up. And if anybody guesses it correctly, I'm going to send you all three of those. And if a couple people guess it correctly, I'll send you guys. If like 10 people guess it correctly, maybe we'll go to the next round. But let's just kind of jump right into this, because I'm already 10 minutes late and I'd rather just get some whiskey in me. I think it will help everything. So, and then we'll kind of go into what's going on in the chat. So, hello. I can't even describe how many things are going wrong tonight. I'm so sorry. Okay, so you guys all heard most of that anyway. So I want you to take a look at this list, and I'd like you to pick something and throw it into the chat. That was not the first blunder. That was like the fourth. So, anyway, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch this up a little bit. Yeah, no, I seriously need some whiskey. I can't even describe to you how badly I need to have a drink at this point. I can't even wait to tell you guys about all the failures I had. So put your entries into the chat. Whatever you think I'm going to pick. If you end up being correct, you will win the whiskey toppers. So I'm going to wait a couple minutes here for people to kind of get their entries in. I know it's a little hard to type all of this. Even if you want to kind of shorthand it, we'll figure it out together. That won't be a big deal. But boring Bowmore 15. Here's what I'm going to do to make it just a little bit harder on myself. I think it would be interesting to not look at what I pick before I pick it. I pour it, I smell it, I taste it. And I'm just going to challenge myself tonight just to get the region. I realize that probably seems easy, but when you've got this kind of variety, it might not be as easy as you think. Okay, so while you guys are kind of typing out, let me just tell you. So as I was starting the stream at 8:30, didn't show up until 8:41. So the first things first, a few minutes before the stream, I noticed that my microphone wasn't working. And I'm like, why is my microphone not working? So I did all the usual stuff that you would do. I closed things. I opened other programs that use the microphone. Those were working. So OBS was not recognizing my microphone. OBS has a setting called Studio Mode, which lets you switch your scenes kind of as you're ready to, but it lets you have another scene visible for yourself so you could fiddle with it if you want to, and then you could switch over. I had a different scene selected, a scene that did not have the microphone, and I could not tell for the life of me why the microphone wasn't showing up. So that was what the delay was at the beginning. So then I figured that out at about, 8:32. All right, to be continued. I'm going to pick a whiskey at random here. All right, get your last minute guesses in, and then I'm not going to look at what this is, but I am going to pour this. And let's go back to our main scene. All right. So I'm going to pour this, and then based off the color, the smell, the taste, all I want to do is guess whether it's a Scotch, Bourbon, Irish, something else. All right, so cool. I'm going to put that over there, and then I'll let you guys know if any of you win. Anyway, so there was all that, and then what else? I don't even know. Like and then I started doing the whole stream, and I did it for probably 3 minutes. I basically got to the point where I was showing the Wheel of Doom, and then I realized, I was like, you guys are really quiet in chat. Is everything okay? And like I refreshed the chat, and there was nothing, and I was like, what the heck is happening? And I realized I forgot to hit go live, because I usually have it set to auto start, but because I was having all these technical problems, I turned it off. Anyway, okay, so then let's get into this. All right, so I'm gonna smell this, taste this, talk about it, and then we're gonna see what it actually is. So okay, initially the first thing I'm getting is, I think it's a Scotch. It is very appley, but it's also very light. So the apple leads me to think it's either Irish. The way that this apple is presenting, it leads me to think it's either Irish or Scotch. It has a little bit too much body, if that even makes sense, to be Irish in this case. Only because there's very few Irish whiskeys I can think of that smell this strongly of apple, and they're all like 40%. So initially, I think that this is probably Scotch. Let me have a sip. Cheers, everybody. Well, the palate is considerably different than the nose. There is a bit still of that apple, but the initial hit is more of a kind of briny, but also like copper pot still kind of thing going on. I'm going to look at the wheel, because I'm curious if I can maybe try to guess what this would be. Thankfully, you guys can actually hear me this time. All right, so just looking at the list here, and part of the challenge is I don't know the flavor of basically any of these whiskeys, so it's totally going to be trying to figure it out based off of a few hints. It would be kind of funny if I picked the Johnny Walker. So Steve was talking about, Steve A is also drinking along with me, and he picks up random numbers 1 through 30, and then always asks me to pick one. And so I picked one, and it happens to be Johnny Walker Blue Cask Strength. So looking at this list, it's nothing like the Port Charlotte. It's not the Old Ballantrae, I guess. I think I have a typo there. It's not a Lagavulin. I don't think it's Kilkerran. It might be Johnny Walker. But that would be surprising because it has a little bit too much flavor. I don't think it's Hazelburn. That's funny. I was just reconsidering it. So Sugar Kitty, as soon as I said it's not Hazelburn, I kind of rethought it, and then her Sugar Kitty's message showed up. So I don't know. Maybe I'll put a pin in that one. Glen Scotia tastes a little too light for that. Or maybe I'm thinking Glen Grant. I can't recall what Glen Scotia tastes like at the moment. Glenfarclas Highland Single Malt 25. I'm thinking it might be that. Glenfarclas 12. It tastes older than 12. Glendronach 10. Let me think. What does Glendronach taste like? No, that's Glenellicky. Okay, yeah. I'm just thinking it's definitely way too light also to be Glendronach, at least in my experience. Glendronach tends to be very dark. Compass Box Magic Cask. It could be that because I have no idea what that's about. I don't think it's the Bowmore. As We Get It Highland Single Malt. Okay, here are my guesses. I think it's either As We Get It Highland Single Malt. I think it's going to be a Highland. Glenfarclas Highland Single Malt 25, or just because I want to throw that little wrench in there, Hazelburn 10. Okay, so let's see what this is. Okay, it's the Compass Box Magic Cask. All right, so I knew it was a Scotch. This one felt a little easy to determine that, but that's okay. I'll still take the win. I've obviously never had this one, so that would have been a tough one to identify, but it does taste a little bit reminiscent of Orchard House. Not that Compass Box really ever does the same flavor more than once. Like, I wouldn't say this tastes like a Compass Box because there's too much variety, but I'm not surprised to hear it's a Compass Box. All right, so let's see. Did anybody pick... Oh, geez. Well, Kyle Taylor, you picked 2 of them. But Compass Box Magic Cask was first, so I'll give that to you unless anybody guessed it before you. Let's see, Compass Box. You guys are guessing like 3 different things. All right, so it looks to me like we are immediately have a winner. So Kyle Taylor, do me a favor, send me an email, thewhiskeydick@gmail.com. Send me an email and just let me know and give me your address, and I'll send you some toppers. That being said, I am not going to stop. I think it'd be more fun to give out more of these, so I'm gonna do this at least one more time. Did not expect somebody to get it on the first guess. That's great. All right, well, I'm going to drink this for another minute. So, anyway, did you guys see, I think it was the Whiskey Exchange sent out a April Fool's email yesterday. Or actually, I guess it was early this morning. I must have woken up to it. No, you know what it was? They sent it at their time, which I think ended up being like 10 o'clock last night. And basically they were like, you guys have asked forever, and we're finally just going to do it. We're going to add the E to the Whiskey Exchange in the word whiskey. And I remember thinking, that's awful strange, especially because their logo had not changed. It was just in their email. And I was like, this is a little strange. And then I thought about it for a second. I was like, oh, those bastards are like ahead of us in the time frame. Well, so they followed it up with a Power 17-year single cask, but then they also sent another email saying like, hey, yes, the whiskey thing was a joke, but the 17-year-old Powers is not. Maybe that's another joke. Probably not the smartest move if they're actually trying to sell them. But I went to the shop and it looked like you could buy it. It said it was still in stock. So if anybody's actually interested in the Compass Box the Powers 17-year-old, I think it was 195 pounds. I don't know what that comes out to in real people money, but in freedom dollars. Yeah, so it does seem like it's probably legit. Four Leaf Whiskey saying that they ended up ordering it. Or they have friends that did. Okay, so all right, that was really fun. I'm gonna move on to the next one. One of the best parts about doing a live stream like this is that as I move through these whiskeys, I tend to go through so many so quickly that when the stream ends, I walk upstairs with like 5-6 glasses, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch a show. I'm gonna drink some whiskey. So it tends to be a fun night for me. All right, so let's go ahead and pick our next one. And for anybody who has shown up, I realize I'm kind of going 100 miles an hour here. It's trying to make up 10 minutes. But for anybody who's shown up, we're doing a couple of giveaways tonight, I guess. And this one is going to be, let's bring up the wheel. Same thing. If you guess the one that I pick off of the wheel, try to guess one thing, please. If you guys guess like 2 or 3, it's not going to count. So just pick one. I didn't say that the first time, so I'll let it go. All right, so put in your guess, whatever you think I'm going to pull off this wheel. And if I do, then you are going to win a set of 3. You get a bamboo topper, an acacia topper, and a glass topper for your whiskey glasses. And they're all branded Whiskey Dictionary. I think that'd be kind of fun. All right, let's see. So Keeper's Heart is pretty decent. Their single barrel releases are good. See, I wouldn't know if the Keeper's Heart is very good because Steve will kill me, but I still don't think I've opened it. Have I? I have it over there. I'm trying to find it on the... I still don't think I opened it. I really should have opened it for Irish Whiskey Month, Steve, and I apologize. I'm like the worst, right? You were nice enough to bring that to me, and I still haven't opened it. That being said, I have a whole table here full of samples from people. I know. I'm seriously awful. By the way, if anybody here wants to send in any samples, just get in touch with me, thewhiskeydick@gmail.com, and they can make it onto the wheel as well. Okay, so get your selections in here. I don't think it's distributed in Detroit, so okay, yeah. And then I'm going to pick one at random. All right. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to know what it is. I'm turning it just so I definitely can't see the label. I'm not going to know what it is. I am going to pour it, however. So let's see. Okay. So get your answers in. I'll give you guys a couple more seconds while I kind of give this a sniff. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit different. Oh, by the way, if they are in the chat, I do want to say thank you to our newest member here, Weave8060. They ended up joining actually before the stream started. And then I don't know if they're actually in the chat now, but if they are, thank you for joining, and I appreciate it. All right, so anything after 4 Leafs whiskeys of only in a few states, that message doesn't count. Okay, so when I smell this, it is definitely not a Scotch. I'm leaning towards either a rye or a bourbon. If it is a bourbon, it's gonna be high rye. This one's a tough one. I'm tempted to go rye, but I have so few ryes on the wheel. Is that true? Let's see. Oh, I actually have a good amount of ryes on here. So we have the Driftless Glen High West Double Rye Gin Finish. I don't think it's that one. I don't remember what Driftless Glen tastes like. Hudson Manhattan Rye Whiskey. Maybe because of the sweetness? I don't know, though. It smells a little herbally. Oak and Eden, Jamestown's Round Prairie Rye. I don't know anything about that. Old Potrero, 18th century style whiskey. Thomas H. Handy, 19. Whistlepig Roadstock Rye Whiskey. Whistlepig Rye 10-year. Ooh, could it be a Whistlepig? I have to say that Whistlepig might be the only one of here that I might stand a chance at recognizing the flavor. Or the smell. Driftless Rye is very dense and dark. Okay, I wouldn't say that's this. I would say this is very soft and sugary. This smells very much like toasted vanilla caramel kind of flavors. That's why I was thinking it might be a bourbon, but I'm pretty convinced off the nose it's a rye. But let's taste it, because if it doesn't taste like a rye, I might go back to that list. Cheers, everybody. That's definitely a rye. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced of it. Now the question ends up being, is this a Whistlepig? And if so, is it Roadstock or is it the 10-year-old? I haven't had the Roadstock. I've had the 10-year-old before. So I guess it doesn't I don't know about the Roadstock, but I would guess that's their, well, they have the farm stock, and then they had the piggyback. I don't know the Roadstock. I'm gonna go Whistlepig 10, and let's see how I did, and let's see if anybody won. Whistlepig Rye 10-year-old. Hell yeah! Look at that. Well, I guess you can't because focus is a thing. But that's awesome. Wow, 50%. That's really nice. You know, it's funny. It's been so long since I've had Whistlepig. I'm actually very surprised that I recognize the flavor. And I might have more just defaulted to the one that I think I knew. I do wonder, had it been like the Driftless or something, if I would have at all picked it out. But that's I'm going to give myself some credit on that, but I would say it's as much luck as anything else. All right, so let's see. Did anybody guess Whistlepig 10? Let's see. Good evening. Blah, blah, blah. Just a sad Bowmore. Mamuka. Writer's Tears. Wow. Going to guess Glendalough. Single Mask Madeira. Remember me to tell you. Well, I'll tell you guys about Glendalough in a moment here. Looks Bourbon. Changed my writer's. Wow. Okay. People really thought it was going to be Writer's Tears. Cool. All right. So nobody guessed that one, but that's okay. We're still going to give stuff away, and I'll probably get through at least another 3. So Steve, you need a number 1 through 30. I usually go low, so I don't know if 30 is actually included, but let's go 30. If not, go 29. All right, I'm gonna have one more sip of this Whistlepig. I'm actually very surprised. I've kind of thought poorly of Whistlepig because here's the thing: when Whistlepig first came out, they really portrayed themselves, and it might have been just a different time, product of their time kind of thing. They really portrayed themselves as making it themselves. And then when they were charging a ton for it, I was like, well, you know, they're a new craft distillery like Whistlepig. They're from, is it Vermont or Virginia? I forget. I think Vermont. And I'm like, this is totally worth the money that they're charging. And then I tried it and I was like, I actually really like this. I had the 10-year-old to start. And then when I found out that they sourced from Canada, I was a little put off. And then when I tried some other better stuff that was about 10 years old, or actually less, actually I ended up moving fairly quickly from the Whistlepig 10 over to Pikesville Rye. And they are different, but I remember being like, oh, Pikesville's far better than this. And then when I realized how much Whistlepig was charging and it was sourced, I was very put off. And I don't know that I've reviewed another Whistlepig since. And that was probably my first year of doing this channel, so it's been a very long time. Yeah, Vermont. Okay, cool. Bacta Rye, must try. Okay. So Glendalough. Let's talk about Glendalough a little bit, and then we'll go into our next pick. So I was at a whiskey tasting event probably, I don't know, what is it? Probably about a month ago. Actually, almost exactly a month ago. And Glendalough was sold. I didn't realize this. I believe Diageo bought them, but I could be wrong about that. Somebody fact check that if you feel like it. Either way, they got bought by one of the big guys. And when they did that, this kind of hurts. And I will reserve like a small bit of judgment because I haven't tasted it yet. They switched their 13-year Mizunara, which was a fantastic pour, to a 7-year-old Mizunara. Now, the only way that this could possibly work is because it's Irish whiskey and it's going into the barrel much less harsh than it could. I feel like Irish whiskey is a really good one to take on the characteristics of Mizunara and do it well and just really develop those soft, very easy to drink flavors. But 7 years feels too young to me to put into Mizunara, or to sell, if you're going to waste Mizunara on it, because I just, knowing that Mizunara is hard to get, it's something that gets reused over and over again, so you really got to put something worth it into that barrel. It kind of hurt to hear that they had lowered the age from 13 to 7, and I like I said, I'll reserve judgment, but I'm very tempted to pick one up and really give it a discerning eye, or taste. I don't know. Hey, Donner Pass. Thanks for dropping in. Mark Anthony Brands International, according to Google. What? Mark Anthony? Really? Huh. Okay. Alexander says to skip Whistlepig whiskey, but buy their maple syrup. I am a huge fan of maple syrup that has been aged in whiskey barrels. I have yet to taste a bad one. That might just be a factor of maple syrup is awesome, but I don't know. I'm not that Canadian. I'm like a little bit French Canadian, but not enough to count. All right, so let's hop over to the wheel. I would love it if you guys would give me some more guesses and see if you can win any of these. Actually, we've grown about 30% since the last time I said it. So for anybody who's new, we're doing a giveaway. These are whiskey toppers. This one's bamboo, this is acacia, and this one's glass. And if you guess what I am picking off of the Wheel of Doom here, I will send you some. So go ahead and write your guess one at a time, or just one guess, please, per person. And then I'll give you guys a minute to do so. Something Canadian, huh? No thanks. You know, Seaway, I've tried over and over again, and I just found North is about the only Canadian that's worth having, in my opinion. Oppidan. What's that? What is Oppidan? Where is that? I don't even see it on here. Is that next guess Oppidan? Where is Oppidan? Or is that like, am I blind? Oh, no, I appreciate that, Kyle. 40 Creek. I'm sticking with Glendalough Madeira. Third time's a charm. Nice. Maple syrup aged in a whiskey barrel sounds better than whiskey aged in maple syrup. Does it though, Donner Pass? I don't know. That'd be like some American single malt stuff. You know, get that in before they really dial in those laws. All right. So let's see what I pick. Ooh, this one's tall. Let's see what this ends up being. All right. So I'm covering the label just to kind of prove to everybody how I'm doing this. After guessing that last one correctly, I feel like I need to, I don't know. I guess I don't really have to. Like, what the hell would I have to earn by faking things? That is a big pour. I kind of should have thought about that, but that's okay. I got to clear some of these off the table. Okay. Well, that color is looking to me like a bourbon right off the bat, but that doesn't mean it is. Well, so Mamuka, I have no idea what I'm picking here. It's totally you guys guessing whatever you want. If you didn't get your guesses in, you have about 5 more seconds to type it. Even if you shorthand it, that's totally fine. I'll trust you. But let me go ahead and give this a sniff. Clue is it will be whiskey. Good call. Ooh, I can't tell off the nose alone. Definitely leaning towards bourbon, but it doesn't have as much, well, no, that's not true. I was going to say it doesn't have as much like vanilla as I would typically get, but it kind of does. It's a little bit sweet. It has some vanilla. I would say leaning heavier towards caramel than the vanilla. What is that? I would almost say this is finished with something. Maybe, let me go back to the wheel. I want to take a look. Oops, that's left over from last week. I'm looking at my preview of what you guys are seeing, like, oh, it's still Irish Whiskey Month. Okay, so looking at this, oh, you know what? It could be an American too. All right, let's just kind of go down the line here. So as far as American, off the smell, it's possible that it's a Balcones wheated. Wheated whiskeys have a flavor profile and nose that I am not perfect at picking out yet. Not that I'm that great ever, but it's probably like one of the worst. I always confuse wheat whiskeys with something else. Yeah, sorry, Alex. All right, so we got Jack Daniel's 10-year. I don't think so. No banana. Virginia. Oh, the Cuvee cask. Could it be that? Because it does. I did say it smells like it's finished in something. Courage and Conviction's Cuvee cask. Maybe. Westward American single malt Pinot Noir cask. All right, let's have a sip, because otherwise I'm going to just kind of waste my time. I don't think it's chocolate, and that was something I considered Sugar Kitty, but because of it tasting a little bit finished, I feel like it could throw off that chocolate flavor. Cheers. That is high proof. Not like insane, but probably about 50. Maybe a little higher. Maybe just a little higher. Which is also making me think it might be, it could potentially be that Balcones. They tend to do higher proof stuff. Okay, so bourbon, I don't think it's the Blantons. Oh, Oppidan, I found it finally. Oppidan Smoke and Sea Straight Bourbon, I don't think it's that. Parker's Heritage Heavy Char Bourbon. Maybe. Parker's Heritage is fantastic. Wild Turkey's Master's Keep 1894. Could this be a Wild Turkey? Again, maybe. This one is going to be difficult. You would think guessing a Scotch would be harder, but bourbons all taste very similar. There's usually like one or two little factors that make it stand out from each other. This one's going to be tough. Yellowstone Select, probably not. Yellowstone 101, 9-year, probably not. And I don't believe it's a world whiskey, although I could be wrong. There's just a lot of variety there. I don't believe it's a rye. Definitely not an Irish. Could it be any of the Canadians? Only one that it could potentially be would be the 40 Creek, and I just don't think it fits that profile. It doesn't have that awful metal taste that all Canadian whiskeys ruin their whiskey with. I'm so grumpy at Canadian whiskey. Okay, so my guess is, I wish that you guys could see my mouse cursor so I could like poke at things. So Balcones wheated bourbon is a potential. Virginia Courage and Conviction Cuvee cask is a potential. The Westward's Pinot Noir, I don't think so, but if it comes up, I'm not going to be hugely surprised. And then other than that, maybe the Wild Turkey Master's Keep. All right, so at the very least, if it ends up being one of those four, I'll feel pretty happy with myself. But I'm going to throw my hat in the ring here with the Virginia Courage and Conviction Cuvee cask. So let's go ahead and have one more taste. I do remember when I did a live stream with Courage and Conviction. The woman's name's escaping me at the moment. I'm sorry. I could picture her vividly, but I don't remember her name. But I remember liking the Cuvee cask. So let's go ahead and see. Wow, this is a surprise. I was very wrong. This one's from Mark Reyes. This is the Nevada H&C Distilling Co. Smoke Wagon Small Batch. Now, I don't taste smoke in this at all. I don't know if it's just a name. I would guess it's not. So this is the Smoke Wagon Small Batch. Let's see. Did anybody guess that? Did Sugar Kitty get it? Let's see. Second down bourbon. I don't know what that is. I did it again. All right. Sorry. So, no, okay. Oh, you were telling me we're the Oppidan. I don't see anybody. There's no smoke in Smoke Wagon other than the name. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. I called it off the color, but was unofficial guess. All right. Wow. Even Still Machine, that's kind of impressive. If you didn't write it, then I'm not going to send you anything, but I'll believe you, and I'll feel impressed by you. Interesting. Well, I'm going to have to actually, I did a thing. Of course, I closed it before I started because I was like panicking about not having everything. But I did take a few notes about stuff. All right, so Steve needs one more number. Hey, everybody in the chat, throw a number 1 through 30. Whoever gets it in there first, that's the one I want Steve to drink. All right, so Smoke Wagon Small Batch, a balanced, smooth bourbon with a versatile flavor profile. That's not really helpful. All right, number 17. That's funny. I think I said number 17 at the very, very beginning of this. Let's see. I need a number 1. Yeah, that was exactly what I guessed. And then it was the Cavalan Vino Barrique to start, which I believe you didn't wrap up properly. So let's go number 6, Steve. All right, cool. I'm happy. I like that. Good. All right, let's see what else we've got. Let's see. Okay. Hey, did anybody see any good April Fool's things that I should check out today? I did see this one thing on YouTube. It was like a bunch of people that I follow, and they all kind of played a game together in virtual reality. It was pretty funny. But aside from that, I don't know. It kind of gets a little old, I guess, because it's too predictable. It's part of the reason I liked what the Whiskey Exchange did last night, where it was kind of took me by surprise because it came out yesterday instead of today. But it's tough to trick people on April Fools. But day 22 of the Advent calendar, so should be good. All right, put in your next guess. This might be the last one of the night, so feel free to put in your guess. Oh, nice. Lockpicking Lawyer did a good one today. I'll have to check that out. I'd love to see him like open up one of those little kids' diaries with like the awful little key with like one prong on it. All right, we got a guess for Teeling, one for Wee Beastie. Glendalough Madeira. Everyone here is so wrapped up in the eclipse next week, I think they forgot. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. I did see, actually, I saw an April Fool's thing that was about the eclipse. And first thing it said was like scientists were made a big mistake with something or other, and they were off by some slight amount. And like it kind of changed the entire trajectory of the solar eclipse. And I was actually excited because it was going to go more so over Massachusetts. But it was, of course, an April Fool's joke, and I'm like, oh, this is stupid. Made me a little sad. All right, let's see. Kyle Taylor. Okay. Miyagiko. I'll go with that. Miyagiko peated. Nice. All right, we are in the path of totality here in the Seaway. It's nuts here. Yeah, I'm very excited. Okay, I'm going to pick one. Let's go for something more so on the outside. Okay, cool. So I can't see you. Let's see what I pour. I actually I handed a friend a bunch of Boston Brown. I think that's what they're called. These bottles are called Boston Browns, and gave him a bunch of them the other day, and he's been telling me like, oh, I had this one, blah, blah, blah. It's really fun. It's like a nice way to share stuff with people without having to have them over and like hang out and drink. Although that's really fun, of course. It's not always practical. But it was fun. He picked up his daughter slept over the other day, and he stopped by the next morning to pick her up, and I handed him like 5 bottles of whiskey. Like, here you go. It's 9 a.m. Why not? Miyagiko. Ohio is already losing their mind about the of course Ohio's losing their mind. Ohio. Hey, so I'm thinking about maybe moving from Massachusetts, and I know that's a crazy concept, and I'm thinking somewhere like middle of the country or possibly south. Couple of states that have come up are like Minnesota or Nebraska. Like that's kind of what I'd love to have a little bit of land. I want to get like a 4-wheeler. I want to like let my dog run around and be nut job. I want to like let my kids go be crazy. I want to build things. I want to light off fireworks. I want to do stuff I can't do here in the suburbs of Massachusetts. Oh, sure. I'll put up the list one more time because I haven't said anything about this other than the color. I don't really think I want to do Texas because people in Texas are crazy. No, that's not really the reason. Honestly, I just don't really know that Texas is a good fit. Every time I've gone down there, it's just too damn hot. Not that like Nebraska might get hot. I'm not really sure, but I'm realizing that moving to a completely different state is a hard thing to be like, where do I move? If you don't know anybody who lives there, it's very hard to be like, oh, well, what town has the best schools, or what town is really fun to live in, and you're top 10 schools with the best blah blah blah. And it'll be like, well, if I want to pay $50,000 a year for a private school for my 3rd and 5th grade, or 2nd and 5th graders, 4th graders, 2nd and 4th graders, like that's not what I want to do, and I couldn't do it. But anyway, all right. So you guys have got your guesses in by this point. If you don't, too bad. All right, let's reveal the color at least. So it's definitely a little dark. Ooh, I think I know this. I think I know a little bit, but like I've smelled this before, but I can't think of what it is yet. Yeah, no, I know going down south, it is kind of funny to think of leaving Massachusetts to get better schools because we're kind of known for very good schools and intelligent people, but you'd be surprised. It's just not, it's not really the same. I don't know. Massachusetts is just kind of like as well. My family came over like on the Mayflower, and we've been in Massachusetts ever since. And it's just, I don't know, time to leave. Oh, you coming to Boston tomorrow? Nice. Okay, so maybe I should give you guys a little bit about this. So first things first, either it's young or it's high ABV. Getting that off the nose. I'm like, my nose is almost fried after smelling this. IT conference, that makes sense. I would say it might be an American single malt based off some of the stuff I'm smelling in here. It's like a little malty, maybe a little chocolatey. There isn't a whole lot of oak barrel influence here. It is a very heavy smell, like it's very robust. It smells like Luxardo cherry syrup a little bit without so much cherry. It's just very heavy sugars. Interesting. All right, cheers. All right, so I'm more convinced now that it's an American single malt, or it could be a rye. So Kyle says, I spent 2 decades in the UK DMV, just got to move back home, and I'm loving it, Bill. You want land, fireworks, and good schools? Just move 50 miles west, come out to the valley. Are you talking about Massachusetts? Because where are you? I kind of didn't catch where you lived, Kyle. It's rum. Maybe a little bit. Very dark rum. Could it be the Pinot Noir finish? If it is the Pinot Noir finish, they didn't do it justice, and they made it too high a ABV. Connecticut River Valley. Oh, okay. That's an interesting idea. Okay. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, the schools out in Western Massachusetts are not going to be better. I know too many people from Springfield. All right, so thinking in the, I'm gonna narrow this down to either an American single malt or a rye. Is it the Balcones single wheated bourbon? No, it's not the Jack Daniels. Oh, I guess I put Jack Daniels 10-year only because I didn't want to put Tennessee whiskey. I guess that's really more of a bourbon. I should probably move that one, but oh well. Virginia CNC Cuvee Cask. So no, I don't think it's that. Westward American small single malt. I keep wanting to say small. Pinot Noir cask. I don't know. Whew. Yeah, this is high ABV. Sorry, it kind of like went down the wrong pipe. It's one of the bad parts about having a talk while you drink. Happens on occasion. Fries the voice. Driftless Glen Rye. So somebody earlier, I think it was Sugar Kitty, said that Driftless Glen was a heavy rye. And like dark, which this does fit. It's possible. Based off that one description, which I don't really know. I don't think it's the Manhattan Rye whiskey. Old Potrero. Okay. I'm not feeling confident in this guess whatsoever, and I'm gonna say that I think. Ooh, this is tough. I think I'm actually gonna go with that Westland single malt Pinot Noir cask, and I'm gonna feel okay with myself if it's the Driftless Glen. But I'm specifically, I don't think it's the Nova. It's been a little while. I know I do my single barrel pick of the Nova, or basically the Nova. It's the single barrel pick of Starward based off of, I told them I liked Nova, and so they sent me some other stuff. And so that's usually what I drink when I have Starward, so it's a little hard to tell what theirs would taste like. I wouldn't say pine and eucalyptus, no. If you want, okay, yeah. So you can move to Canada. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about the fireworks so much. I mean, I'm American. I like fireworks, but I'm okay letting other people light them off too. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go with the Pinot Noir and Driftless Glen if that comes up. All right, let's see. What are you? What is this? I think this was actually, I think Clifton from Bourbon Bites sent this to me. Give me a sec to figure out what this is. He says, oh, I think, yeah. All right, so it is a rye. It's Thomas H. Handy 19, which I wouldn't have been able to guess. Oh, thank you, Alex. Appreciate that. He says, my single barrel Starward was infinitely better than the Nova, which I totally agree. The Nova tastes like sour, dry, sad grapes and mold. I can't say mine tasted like that when I tried the regular Nova. I do actually like the Nova a lot, but I also agree that the single barrel was considerably better. But that's kind of what they're meant to be. Actually, at the moment, so Whiskey Dick Pics at the moment is actually down. I was trying to move over to Shopify because YouTube has like an integration, and I could have made the bottle show up on the YouTube pages. But then after getting everything all set up, they were like, hey, wait a minute, you're selling alcohol. That's not going to work. So I'm actually back over on Wix. So I would say probably by tomorrow, Whiskey Dick Pics will be back up if anybody's interested. Yeah, so let's see. Did anybody end up guessing Thomas H. Handy? I would guess probably not. My favorite April Fool's joke was from the city here telling people to build temples to raccoons since they are now using AI to take over. That sounds pretty awesome, Donald. No, it doesn't look like anybody guessed Thomas H. Handy. If you did, let me know in the comments, but I suspect nobody did. I will say part of me is happy that I didn't have a winner every single round because I'd like to do this going forward. I actually have a whole shelf over there of either stuff that I bought for videos that I just don't need, like various types of glasses or whatever. And I have some other stuff that various vendors have sent me to just do as giveaways that I've never done. So I think I would like to make the Wheel of Doom be like a giveaway style show. So if you guys ever see that come up in the future, know that will probably be the format. I think that'd be kind of fun. Let's see. So it's 9:25. I don't What do you guys think? Should I do one more, or should I not do one more? I think I should do one more. I don't think it would make sense to wait for an answer when I could be drinking. So let's do one more. I'm going to bring the wheel back. Oh my God. All right. I'm deleting that. Go away. All right. I'm doing one more. And I'm going to let you guys listen to Irish music. So go ahead. Done one more. Nice. Oh, it looks like I can like that. That's neat. I've never seen that. That's new. Submit and do one more. I will submit. Okay. One more. Go ahead. Pick your poisons. I'm sorry. I kind of want to like, let's just, what do you think? I like the idea that that's super loud and it's just awful for all of you. Okay, go ahead and pick one more and I will do the same. So let's give it a little swirly. And I like to look away. All right, we'll grab this guy. I just poured some Lot 40 rye. Is it the regular Lot 40 or is it the dark oak? Okay, we've got some more guesses coming in. Writer's Tears Cask Strength. I kind of hope it's Writer's Tears Cask Strength. I know it's one day after Irish Whiskey Month, but I wouldn't be sad to go back. I just poured some Lot 40 rye, Bowmore 15, in the Night on Disappointment. You know, I would be interested. Does anybody here have a suggestion of a Bowmore that's actually good? Because I've had the 12. The 15 apparently is not very good. I haven't had I assume they have an 18. But I'd be curious to know. I'd be curious to know if there's any actual good ones. Okay, Bowmore 18. Figures. All right, get your last guesses in. Hazelburn 10, Wee Beastie, Glenfarclas 25. I don't know if I'd like to end the night on that just because I worry about my taste buds, but I also think it'd be kind of nice. Let's have a little bit of water while waiting. I'm holding on to this whiskey so you guys can't see it. Ooh, that looked a little dark. Gave you guys a little sneak peek. All right. We'll lock in those guesses. I'm going to pour this. That's a heavy one. All right. Cool. Ooh, this one's going to be very difficult. It doesn't smell like anything. Or more so, it smells like everything. It's sweet. It has a hint of rye. It has some bourbon. I'm leaning a little bit more towards bourbon than rye here currently. I wouldn't be surprised if this had some wheat in it. It smells low ABV, but we'll have to see. It's definitely not Irish. It's likely not Scotch unless it was finished, and I don't think there were a whole lot of finished Scotches on there. Whiskey Shaman. Nice. Single Malt Whiskey Society 93 is amazing. Okay. I'm guessing that's Bowmore. You know, I'm liking the smell on this one. This actually... All right, let's have a sip. Cheers, everybody. So, I would say probably not Master's Keep. So let's think about the bourbons here. From the list of bourbon, well, I guess I'll put them up because I'm not going to remember them all. Oh, let me just do that. Sorry. Okay, so I don't think it's an American single malt. It just doesn't have any characteristics of that. Yeah, I don't think it's an American single malt. It's definitely not Scotch, definitely not Irish, not Canadian unless it's really going to throw a curveball, which leads it to Bourbon World or Rye. From the World whiskeys, Hadazaki, no. Nomad Outland Whiskey, I remember drinking that before. It's not that. It's not Starward, and it's not Sleers. I don't know what that is, so probably not World Whiskey, which leaves Bourbon and Rye. It's not a Blanton's. I don't know Oppidan Smoke and C Straight Bourbon, but if that's anything like what it sounds like, I don't think it's this. So I would get rid of that. Parker's Heritage Heavy Char Bourbon. Probably not. Not really any smoke here. And it doesn't have the characteristics of like a really heavy charred barrel. Smoke Wagon we already picked. Wild Turkey Master Key. It doesn't taste like Wild Turkey. And that only leaves 2 Yellowstones. And Yellowstone whiskeys I think are kind of garbage. I don't think this is garbage, which makes me now think it must be a rye. Which is exciting because it doesn't really taste like a rye, which means it's gonna be something weird. It's probably gonna be something I haven't had before, which is actually even cooler. Huh. Okay, so oh, actually, I didn't exclude Canadian. No, I did exclude Canadian. But I was just thinking. So, stay with me here for a minute. So, a couple of weeks ago, I did a thing with Freedom Malts. And he surprised me with a Canadian whiskey that I had never had. It was from Crown Royal. I forget what it was. But I remember thinking it didn't have the characteristics of Canadian. So maybe I shouldn't exclude it so much. So let's actually see what's on the Canadian. Alberta Premium Cask Strength Rye. This is a high proof rye. It could be Alberta. It's not the winter wheat noble collection. Like I can't believe it's the winter wheat because I've had the what is it, the Crown Royal. I think it was a winter wheat rye, but it was the one that they did like forever. It wasn't part of the noble collection, or maybe it was. I don't remember it very well. Either way, I don't know that it's that. And then 16-year-old rye, I don't know if it's that. 40 Creek is definitely not that. Lot 40, 100% rye. I don't think it's Lot 40, which makes me think maybe it's a Canadian, but maybe it's Alberta Premium. The cask strength is what's kind of making me think about this for a minute. So Donald, I put wait, no, I don't have Whistlepig there under American whiskey. Yeah, I know what you're saying though. It's Canadian, but they market themselves as a rye. So, all right, just bouncing back and forth between this. You know, maybe I'm gonna do this because I feel like I'm totally not even looking at you guys. So let's put this over here. I know that you guys can't really see what I'm doing, but that doesn't matter because I can see what I'm doing. So now I can at least kind of look at you. It's not Thomas H. Handy because I just had that. I don't think it's Whistlepig because I just had that. Old Potrero, I don't know that flavor. So here's what I'm thinking. It's gonna be. This is difficult because it also tastes like there's some age on it, and I'm tempted to say like the Crown Royal 16-year-old only because it's the only one with age. But I also just have no clue. Like, that would be a total guess. Which makes me think I should probably pick either the Old Potrero, which it looks like I think I have a typo on there. So I think it's Old Potrero. 18th century style whiskey. Although, I don't know. Something with that name like that makes me think it wouldn't be this smooth. I guess I'm just going to go with the Alberta Premium Cask with a potential... one of the Crown Royals. It would be a total guess. So I guess I'm gonna say it's Canadian, but I don't know. I'm a little over time, so I suppose I should probably just pick a number or pick a thing. So what's up, Whiskey Crusaders? I guess I'm gonna go with either the Old Potrero, the Alberta Premium, or just for the hell of it, I'm gonna go with the Crown Royal 16-year-old. I don't know though. All right, let's see. I'm not even like happy with it's. Holy, there's no way. No, that can't be right. So Crown Royal Noble Collection 16-year-old rye, but it says 90% ABV. It's got to be 90 proof, right? There's just no way it legally couldn't be. I'm not even like happy with that though because it was a total guess. Like I just had no idea. I would never have guessed in a million years that was Crown Royal, which also kind of makes me think I need to revisit Crown Royal because now that's twice that I've actually liked what I've been drinking, and it's been Crown Royal. So I don't know. Maybe they're not a typical Canadian whiskey? I don't know. All right, let's see. Did anybody guess the Crown Royal Noble Collection 16-year-old rye? I have to imagine that would be a no. I don't remember reading it. Let's see. Crown. No crown. Okay, so nobody guessed Crown Royal. I can't blame you. I would not have guessed it either, but it's good. If anybody's out there looking for Crown Royal Noble Collection 16-year-old rye, I would recommend it. I don't know what the price is, and that might factor into it, but if I were doing a video based off only by taste, this would be a buy it. I think it's actually fairly good. Let's see, Seaward, but a Canadian should get a topper right here. You know what, Seaway? Come join the next one. All right, so real quick, if anybody out, hold on. So it's only about $70 each. Okay, awesome, Whiskey Crusaders. Thank you for that. So at $70, I would actually totally say that to buy it. All right, so if you guys would like to donate any whiskey to the Wheel of Doom and see it here in the future, that would be fantastic. I'd love to get some new juice up here. Otherwise, I might start adding some of my own stuff to here as well. Other than that, I'd like to thank everybody who super chatted, and our winner of the toppers, I forget who won, but they're going to email me. So I think it was Kyle Taylor. So good job, Kyle. And other than that, I'll see you guys next Monday, I believe. Yes, I will be here next Monday. I'll be skipping the following Monday, though, but you'll hear all about that on the channel. And we are back to regular whiskeys that are not Irish this week. And let me give you a little sneak preview. My whiskey I'm going to be reviewing this week is going to be the Bruichladdich 18, which came out very recently. Has a very cool little container. This is all cardboard, and their whole deal is doing, like, sustainable packaging. Never seen a little clamshell package like this, but it's kind of cool. I haven't drank a ton of this yet, so that's going to be my assignment for the next couple of days. I do have an opinion, but I'm hoping that opinion changes. But we'll have to see. All right, so I will put out that video on Friday, and for the moment, going forward, I'll be doing live streams every Monday and videos every Friday with a couple of shorts during the course of the week. And thank you guys, everybody who joined tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and cheers. I don't have a new outro, but I do kind of want to do this again.